Hello and welcome back to the What is K-pop pod. Oh my god, that was cringe. Very sorry about that. Start again. Hello, my name is Sophie and I am the host of the What is K-pop podcast. That was a massive malfunction. Very sorry about that. This is episode 3. And we're going to be talking about how to make what seems like a very good survival show. And the latest boy group to come out of a survival show hosted by Enhypen and Hype Corporation. Enhypen. Now, before we get on to this, I do just have a funny story to tell, just because it's like kind of a what on earth were you thinking, Sophie, kind of sort of situation. Basically, this laptop that I'm filming on right now, it made a horrible noise last night, and I was like, I am too scared of risking everything that I've done on here. So like the audio recordings that I've done on here going, I write stories on here, I do my college work on here, pretty much everything that I do is on this laptop. So I thought to myself, okay, well, it's 6 months to your birthday, Sophie. You can't really wait until that long, just in case this one conks out, you can't use it. We'll just get a cheap laptop. And I went onto a site called Argos. It's like this online, also some store, some physical store shop where you basically can buy lots of items. It's basically a warehouse store. And it's a very hard thing to explain just on here, but it's a place where you can't go around shopping necessarily for products. You have to flip through, we used to have to flip through a catalogue, a physical book, and now they've done away with them, and instead you scroll through a tablet, and you pick out what you want, and you go up to a desk, they get it for you, or you have to order it in. And yeah, essentially it's a very strange concept, but it works for some reason. So I went on to that, and I found a laptop for £159. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to look at the specs because I have absolutely no idea what on earth I'm looking at. And, well, I should have done that. I really should have done that, because as it turns out, I spent £159 on a very, very small Chromebook. And now, obviously I understand that, for some people, a Chromebook is fantastic. It's all they need. If they just need to, I don't know, do a little bit of research, or they have to take it into a meeting and just quickly type up notes and such. And, some people really benefit from a Chromebook, but I'm not one of those people. My laptop right now that I'm recording on is 17 inches, diagonal across. So it's quite a bit bigger than the Chromebook. So I had a quick existential crisis about that. And it came today after I had my shower and such. And I was like, oh, this is actually really, really cute. I think I'll be able to get along with it. No, unfortunately, I can't. It's just too small, and literally it's very hard to work with it, because it wants me to update Chrome, but I don't know how to do that. It told me to restart it, when you shut down a computer and it boots back up again. It wanted me to do that. It still didn't work. It didn't connect to the internet properly, and literally I nearly cried. But I'm going to give it to my mum for Mother's Day, she does know, obviously, and she's going to use it for like her recipes or like other things that she wants to do, you know. Obviously I'm going to put on her account and stuff, so she doesn't have to be like, Sophie, can you take off your account seat and like put it back on mine, please? But yeah, so that is the drama of what happened basically last night, and why I'm a little bit perturbed today. However, we live and we learn. I also just got a message from my oh my god. Basically, I made some like herb dumplings earlier, and I sent it to my sister, and I basically said like, oh, like on the family group chat, I said to my sister, oh, what are we having for dinner? And she sent back dough balls, and I'm like, okay, what are we having the dough balls with? And she was like, pasta? And I was like, okay, seasoned dumplings. Like, I sent it from my mum's phone. I said, seasoned dumplings. She hasn't responded, so my mum texted back saying, we're having beef casserole. Like, slow cooked in the oven beef casserole. It's very, very nice. It's very salty, actually, but it's, like, so unbelievably good. Anyway, I made those dumplings. I had a little play on my new laptop, decided it's too difficult for me to use, and luckily I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that I am now 160 something pounds lighter with with the fact that I bought myself a laptop that I can't even use. But my mum has actually been asking for one. She wants to be able to just like look at her recipes really easily, because she likes to experiment actually as to like the stuff that she makes me and my dad. Obviously, like when my sister's back. And yeah, my sister goes to uni, so I thought I should mention that. But yeah, no, she's gonna be happy about that, I hope. I don't know. Anyway, back to what I actually came on here to talk about. Enhypen. Enhypen is a 7-member boy group who debuted towards the end of November 2020 after competing in a survival show called Island. They are a joint venture between B-Lift Lab, which is a subsidiary of what was formerly Big Hint Entertainment, now Hype Corporations, and the joint venture is with a company that I believe it is CJENM. I believe that's the company. Or it could actually be another company. I don't know, I can't remember. Because again, I don't actually do much like research. Like obviously I will do for the other groups that I'm talking about, but because of the fact that like right now I'm posting every single day, and I will be until this time next week, so another 7 episodes. And I obviously I know that you should research about the groups that you're talking about, but you know, I have obviously learned about the joint venture and stuff. I'll actually live research right now. We're doing live research. We love this. We love this for me. The stuff. No bother. Nearly said a very rude word just then. But yes, on the topic of this, whilst I'm trying to figure this out, basically, Island was a show. Oh yes, okay. So this is from Wikipedia. I don't recommend using Wikipedia all the time, but you know, such is life. Basically, it was by B-Lift Lab, which at the time of airing was a joint venture between entertainment companies CJENM and Hype. 23 people participated, and then 7 members were chosen. Okay. And they were supposed to have an Island 2 at the start of 2022 with female trainees. However, it was postponed, and it was supposed to happen last year, but then I think the partnership between the two companies must have ended, and then they CJ and were kind of like, we still want to do Island 2, and so I think this they are partnering with another company called I think it is Wake One Entertainment. They do a lot of the survival. They are the companies behind a lot of survival groups, I believe. I think Kepler and Zero Base One are in that, so they're gonna have that show. And what TV show that Hive decided to make as people think that it is a second series of Island, was a show called Are You Next? So the group that's coming from that is also signed to be Lift Lab and will essentially be the little sister group to Enhypen. But anyway, back to actual Enhypen. It's been 10 minutes. I still have not actually talked about them. But yeah, so we have 7 members. They were all, all but one of them was ranked, scored, whatever you want to call it, by fans. And the last member, one of the members, was actually chosen by producers, which I actually find to be really, really sweet. And actually, this has caused some possible animosity between the members. Obviously, we don't know for certain. This is all speculation. It's alleged. It's not even. I don't even think the company's even said anything about it. It's just, it's just like netizens kind of thinking to themselves, ooh, giving some of the action side eyes. So we are going to touch on that, but okay. Introduction to the members. We have Kim Hee-sung, Jae Park, Jake Sim, Park Sung-hoon, Kim Sunu, Yang Jung-won, and Nishimura Riki. And they were ranked in the show. Hee-sung was 5th, Jae was 2nd, Jake was 3rd, Sung-hoon was 6th, Sunu was 8th, Jungwon was 1st, and Riki was 4th. And Sunu, he was 8th, and he was the producer's choice. The 7th place contestant was actually K from a group called And Team, and they are signed under another company, under Hype, called Hype Labels Japan, or yeah, I think that's the name of the company. But so I do think I don't actually know if there was anything from the fans from the show kind of being like, oh, I really don't think that Sunu should have been in it. I think it should have been K, just because he ranked 7th. But maybe it had already kind of been a thing that actually there's only going to be 6 members chosen, and then one of the people who was still in the final are going to be chosen as the 7th and final member of the group. I didn't actually watch the show. I watched up until the 3rd episode. It had already been a year since it was shown, so I didn't really want to. Quite frankly, I didn't really want to watch it, and it was just kind of, it's one of those things where you have to watch it live if you're gonna watch it, or maybe some people have actually watched it back. I don't know. It's like Boys Planet, another survival show that created Zero Base One. I only watched 1 or 2 episodes, And I was trying to watch it with my dad, but he did not want to watch it. So yeah, so I didn't end up watching it, but I'm a fan of Zero Base One. Anyway, Enhypen. Enhypen's the group we're talking about today, Sophie. Anyway, so Kim Hee-sung, he is often described as like the what am I? Oh my god! Can you tell how much I am not prepared for this? Anyway, he's like the dancer and the really good vocalist. By the way, they're all talented. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to judge like their personal talents. Is my laptop okay? It's like buffering ever so slightly with like the recording. Oh well. I guess we'll see in a little bit when I pause, like when I stop and like look at the transcript and it just has like chunks out of it. I'm gonna be so upset because I'm planning to talk for at least 45 minutes. And we're already 15 minutes in. Anyway, Hee-sung is like the really talented member, is often described as like the member that kind of has to be in the group, I guess, of like he is like the most well-rounded one. But I mean, like, it's kind of a bit mean on all the other people's talents. I'm just gonna be honest. Yeah, just gonna be honest. J-pop, and also Hee-sung. Like, I'm just gonna run through the actual like fully Korean members. We have Hee-sung, Sung-hoon, Sunwoo, and Jungwon. They are fully Korean for as far as we know. Jay, he is Korean American, and he was born in Washington. Yeah, sounds about right. Oh my god, this is the least professional podcast literally ever. We gotta love it for me. Anyway, he lived there in America till the age of 9. Until he moved to South Korea then and has been living there ever since. And I think he was 18 or 19 by the time he appeared on Island. So he's been living in South Korea for the majority of his life, but he does speak English, and same as Jake. Jake is Australian. He's Korean Australian, and instead of being born in Australia, he moved there when he was blind as well, after living in South Korea for obviously the first 9 years of his life. I think Jake lived there for 10 years before then moving to South Korea to become a trainee, and then eventually became part of Island, and then a part of Enhypen. Park Sung-hoon, he is, oh my god, I love this story about Sung-hoon, genuinely. It's literally the coolest thing ever. He was actually a professional ice skater first, from the age of 9 until he was 19, and he I'm so sorry about that. That was so unbelievable. I tried to keep it like chill, calm. Oh my god, that was so funny. My dad just walked in and I was trying to like talk at the same time as like politely like saying like, oh, I'm recording the podcast. I was talking about Sunghoon. Yeah. Anyway, Sunghoon started figure skating at the age of 9 and apparently competed for 10 years, even though he started at the age of 9 and competed for 10 years. I'm like, nothing against Sunghoon, obviously, you know, it's but I'm just like, you can't just go from starting ice skating to then being a professional ice skater. That doesn't really fully make sense. But I mean, to be fair, we don't exactly have to know exactly when he started figure skating. It's just one of those it's one of those things where I'm like, it just ever so slightly bugs me to the point in which I feel like I'm going insane trying to figure out when something happened. But anyway, it doesn't matter. He was a figure skater, and he decided after 7 years of solely being a figure skater that he was going to become a trainee at Big Hit. So he did that. And then he had a chance to appear on the show Island and then became a member of Enhypen. He retired from his figure skating career just before the show, which obviously means that he is no longer doing that stuff. But he actually managed to they did an episode of N O'Clock, which is their reality TV show on YouTube, of where Sung-hoon was did figure skating. And I mean, I don't know anything about figure skating. It could have been so unbelievably bad, and he actually said that it's nothing like what he used to do as a kid, but I thought it looked cool, and I'm pretty hard to impress. Yeah. Is it still working? Yeah, it's still working. Next member is Kim Sunu. Sunu is actually the closest in age for me, in terms of age. He was born in June, I was born in late August, so he is kind of my bias on that front, but also my bias because he's really, really sweet and doesn't care. Apparently, I often watch the fan edits of ex-idol not caring about their image, and genuinely Sunu just acts as though he's not fully aware of the fact he's sometimes being recorded. It's amazing. I love it. I love that about him. But yeah, as I said earlier, he was ranked 8th, so just outside of the 7-member group, but instead of the 7th ranked member being a part of the group, Sunu was put in because of the producers. The producers were like, yeah, we want to see you being a part of Enhypen. And actually, Sunu had quite a lot of health problems apparently when he was a kid. He had something cool, one of his lungs collapsed apparently, from what I've read online. And so he's had quite a lot of health issues, especially with stamina. So yeah, I feel for that because I have asthma, and yeah, no, it isn't easy when you just kind of want to do something, but your body is just no, you're not going to do that. So that's always a fun old time, isn't it? It's not, I'm joking. Anyway, next member is Yang Jung-won. Yang Jung-won, or Jung-won, was ranked first in the show and is the leader of Enhypen. He was at the time of debut, I think maybe even still now, is the youngest leader in K-pop. He was 16? Yeah, he was 16 at debut, turned 17 shortly afterwards, but is actually the second youngest. And I always kind of I always wonder about this on thinking as the youngest member of my family, of that I couldn't ever imagine being the leader of things. Even when I was a kid and I'd be a part of a group and for whatever reason no one else wants to be the leader, or the teacher assigns me to be the leader, and I'm like, what? You want me to lead people? Okay, I mean, I am the youngest and I literally am afraid of messing up. So like maybe it isn't the best idea for me to be leader. But I think it's because of the fact that I've like always been the youngest. I was the youngest in my school year for like the majority of my school life, only until like the last year when I was actually the oldest, because so basically when I turned 17, I actually went back a year because I'd failed some of my exams. So I went back a year essentially with one of my best friends to basically start doing my level 3 qualifications, and it meant that in my business class I was actually the oldest person in there, like a student wise, and that was hard because I'd gone from being the youngest to then being the oldest, and it's hard to kind of like explain it, but having responsibility is something that I hate under all circumstances, and I couldn't imagine at 17 leading a group of 6 other people into being like a K-pop group and kind of trying to find success. But I mean, Jungwon seems to be doing really good at being the leader. He's just turned 20, and I mean, he's having no real like issues, at least as far as I'm aware of. I mean, like I don't know because I don't watch their content that much. Not for any particular reason. I just I don't actually watch a lot of Korean variety shows. I watch a lot of K-dramas. That's kind of where I watch mainly of like South Korean content. But Jungwon, I mean, he's good and all. I'm not gonna say that he's not good. I just don't know insofar as like what his like leadership, like the ability of him being a leader was from over like the other members. Like you would think instantly that Heesung was going to be the leader, and it actually came down to Heesung and Jungwon when Enhypen were kind of deciding what they were going to be doing for their debut and kind of talking with the company. They were like, oh, we think that either Heesung or Jungwon are going to be the leader. You decide who it is going to be, and they all kind of collectively chose Jungwon. So perhaps, during Island he proved himself to be a good leader. I don't know, but I mean, who are we all to judge that? I mean, like one of the groups I'm going to be talking about soon, K and K, their actual maknae, like their youngest member, is their leader, and I could not imagine anything worse than that, genuinely. Like, I think if, like, in another group, the and team group from earlier I mentioned, with K being a part of it, they actually have 2 leaders, and it's EJ and Yuma, I think, and I think I'd be better as co-leaders. So then I'm still responsible for some aspects, but maybe if it's like, oh, I can do the organization of like where the members are going to be, and the other one deals with the members. I don't know. Anyway, on to the maknae. The maknae is Nikki. His stage name is Nikki, but his full name is Nishimura Riki. And this is actually like really, really interesting because on the survival show there was 2 people whose like given names were Ricky. So obviously Nikki was Nikki because of the Nishimura part of his family name. At least I think that's how Japanese names work. I don't know. I think it is. That is how it works. And then Taki, he is a part of and team, but we actually didn't know his family name for the longest time. my mum's just texted me about Petal, our cat. Like, we didn't know what Taki's like real name was for a while, and like for some reason, like people speculated it was because of his like family and like what his family did. But I'm like, I feel it's just some conspiracy theories in K-pop that I'm just like, maybe just like think about what you just said for like half a second and just be like, that does not make sense in the slightest. Like, if Taki wasn't safe, do you honestly think his parents would let him go on a TV show? I don't know though. We can't speculate, you know. It is just something that I'm kind of like speaking about aloud, you know. But yeah. Ricky, Nikki, yeah. He is Japanese, and honest to God, he was so young when he came to South Korea. I think he was 13. I think I read somewhere it was 13. So 2018, I think. Yeah, I was 13 in 2016. So yeah, 2018. And he was born right at the end of 2005. So he actually has only just turned 18. But the amount of comments, oh my gosh, about his appearance, like, he is often over SUized. Obviously I can't say on here because I don't really want to, but like, he was often talked about in quite a concerning way when even before he turned 18. And honest to God, that really scares me. I'm like, I can't believe we talked about a kid in that way, but well, you know, it's not the first time that sort of stuff has happened, but you know, it is still a little bit strange in a way. But yeah, talking about Island for a second. Island was actually a pretty cool show because all the people, I'm pretty sure, who competed on the show must have been at least like a Hype trainee from all of the subsidiaries. No one came outside, and like they were all listed as like Hype trainees, or back then it was Big Hit, but you know, obviously it wasn't confirmed whether or not they came from X place and such, so we don't know. But like, I wonder how much like all of the individual people knew of each other. Like, we know that Nikki and Taki like were friends because of the fact that they were similar ages and both came from Japan. And we know that Heesung was friends with the TXT members. Remember from yesterday I was talking about them? And they debuted a year, like nearly 2 years before Enhypen did. So I wonder how much they actually at least like knew of each other, and kind of how the training process in South Korea goes, because you know, from the Blackpink Netflix documentary, it seems as though they all kind of know each other through just being like, oh, I don't know, Sally. I know that Sally is a trainee. I know she's been here since before I came here. She's really talented. But you don't know Sally's birthday, or you don't know Sally's like parents or something like that. Like, I'm sure you do get to know people when you're talking to them and you're living with them, but I can't really imagine that you probably know each other too much because of the training system. But I think, yeah, no, there was quite a lot of scenes where the members talked to each other, and I think of like there was like a couple of clips where Sunghoon was showing the members, like the contestants, like a couple of ice skating moves, obviously because he had just retired from ice skating, and typically when you're training you have to like practice the moves and such, so he's probably already quite familiar with being able to do it on dry land. I don't know why I had to explain that, but yeah, I kind of wonder how all of the contestants felt whilst on the show, about whether or not they were kind of like, oh, I know this person, or oh, I wonder why this person isn't in the show, and whether or not, like, there was another group who was meant to come out of Hype who, like, the training, like the debut team just dissolved. They were meant to be called Train EA, or that was like a placeholder name, and they all of like the plans for that kind of dissolved late 2022, December 2022. And I wonder if perhaps a few of the trainees who were in that group were kind of thought to be like thought to have been a part of the show, but obviously weren't a part of the show. Like, I don't know about when they started training and such, but like I always kind of am curious as to what the people's relationship are between each other, like whether or not they're kind of aware of who these people are, or like is it kind of like a YG treasure box kind of situation where like the Japanese like kids got separated from the Korean ones, or at least like the ones who were training in South Korea. I wonder if it is a kind of that sort of situation, and like how they kind of dealt with being like separated for so long, like competed on this show against each other to be a part of a team, and then kind of having to then be like, okay, well, we're no longer competing against each other, let's get to know these people. And obviously some of them also performed with each other, like they had to do an initial like dance test for all of them to kind of be first, like their first ranking. So, was that a sole decision between the members, or was it like the company? And like, what's their relationship now, kind of sort of thing? Because like I said about Sunu, he wasn't actually going to be a part of the group unless he like until we became the producer's choice. Like, it was those people who decided that he is going to be a member of Enhypen. So I wonder if maybe the controversy surrounding the members and Sunu wouldn't have happened had Sunu been ranked 7th. And the controversy I'm talking about is the mistreatment allegations of such and such, of the members kind of making fun of Sunu and saying that he isn't a healthy weight and such, and like basically trying to make him feel bad for things. And I don't believe necessarily that anything really happened there, because it seems like as though it's like little kids kind of just playing around. A lot of the trainees have probably been doing it for years. They've been preparing to like become idols for so long, so they probably don't really know like fully what they're saying and what the impact is. And it hasn't come up in a very long time, so I don't know if it's still going on, if Hive are kind of like, nah, we're all going to treat each other nicely around here. But you don't know what's going on in those people's lives. We only see what they want us to see and stuff. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much about like a general overview on Enhypen, their survival show, and the biggest controversy of to date, and one that I wanted to talk about. I've also talked about a bit about my life. We also had my dad interrupting. But yeah, I will talk to you guys soon, or girls, non-binary pals. Everyone's welcome here at the What is K-Pop podcast, and I will see you again very, very soon. Bye.